Das while cohorticus unilat as the chapa marade. Basically, the question relates to what is the policy of your department in relation to promoting and ensuring that all children nationally would have a choice between Irish language creches, bilingual creches, and English language creches, because we do know that children absorb languages. The younger they are, the easier they find it to learn languages, and in fact, 2 languages and 3 if you expose them to those languages. I'd be interested in what the department's policy is on this issue and providing that basic service to our people.
Thank you very much, Deputy, and thank you for your kind words. And look, I believe there's a strong value in supporting the provision of services in the Irish language to children at that early age, because, as you say, they are particularly when it comes to languages, they're able to pick up languages at a much faster rate. And preschools and creches can play a really important role in promoting Irish as a living language. And I would note that early learning and care services, they are private businesses, so they do themselves determine the medium through which they provide their particular service. My department provides funding to providers through various schemes to subsidise early learning and childcare costs and for various quality initiatives. And we are particularly keen to support providers who wish to operate through Irish. Currently, there's 247 childcare services that identify as Nainry with Pobble and with my department. And of these, 237 provide the HA scheme. And for the 2019-2020 year, my department would have been providing those with 25 million worth of supports. TUSLA, which is the Early Years Regulator, and the Better Start Quality Development Service, they offer services to the sector through Irish, and they continue their efforts to improve the Irish language service. And my department also ensures that resources are made available through Irish. There's collaboration between officials in my department and the Department of Culture, Heritage and the Gaeltacht, and that has resulted in a set of actions under the 5-year action plan for the Irish language. And these actions are in support of the overarching 20-year strategy for the Irish language, and they're designed to affirm the importance of early learning and care in encouraging the development and the revitalisation of the Irish language. First 5, which is the whole of government strategy for children and families, it contains 2 specific actions aimed at supporting the development of Irish language within the early learning and care sector. These involve ensuring that children in Gaeltacht areas have access to early learning services through Irish and developing mechanisms to provide Irish language supports to services where there are high proportions of children learning through the medium of Irish. And look, my department remains committed to supporting the growth of the number of early years Irish language services.
First of all, I accept that there are a large number of Neonra, but a Neonra is a preschool. But a Neolan is a creche. There's the world of a difference. And actually, if you get them at the creche stage, has a huge advantage of getting them before the ECCE stage. First of all, you have them all day. And there are Neolana in existence in the country that operate through Irish. Now, I'm sure you would agree with me, Minister, that the privatisation drive in this country, that everything is market driven, and, you know, as I said, first sentence is, this is the private sector we fund. But of course, he who pays the piper calls the tune. What I'm wondering is there an overall arching positive policy in your department to ensure and to promote the concept of diversity of choice of language between the 2 official languages, or a mixture of both, or even in the English-speaking creches, introducing a small amount of Irish? Is this part, because it was part of the 20-year strategy, you're absolutely correct. So that's my question. Is there a big policy? And then you use your money to implement your policy.
Thank you.
Deputy, my understanding is that the 2 points that I listed from the first 5 strategy, and first 5 is our overarching strategy for how we deal with the early years sector. So my understanding is that those 2 points are, I suppose, acting on elements of the 20-year strategy. So you have the overarching strategy for the Irish language, which is being enacted in our in our sector through points in first five, so they're carrying on down, and that's my understanding of the link there. And I think it is important to note that acting on those commitments in first five, we are working on the creation of 2 Irish language early years posts to further develop the Irish language. Now, unfortunately, the process of their hiring did get delayed because of COVID, but I'll look and see where we are with the hiring of those particular posts, because I think they are focused directly on Irish language in the early years sector and supporting the development there.
The state has a constitutional duty and also clear policies to promote the Irish language. When it comes to actually delivering, we seem to always come up with this is what we're doing, but we're not really doing anything. Now, to put it in simplest terms, if I take this city, there are a lot of Gael Scalini, and the communities behind those Gael Scalini at great difficulty have in a lot of cases provided to Nianra. Now, one would have thought there would have been a positive policy in the department to make sure that for every Gaelscoil and every Nianra that there was also a Neolan or a creche associated with it, not as does the market want it, and if they do we'll give them something, but as a positive policy driven by your department as part of the national policy in relation to the promotion of the Irish language. Because one thing, when you give 2 languages to a kid of 1, 2, 3, you've given them a lifetime present, absolutely for free, that gives them a huge advantage right through the rest of their life, and actually makes it easy to learn number 3 language, number 4 language, and number 5 language. That is well proven.
You know, I absolutely accept the Deputy's wider point on the learning of languages. And look, I take on board his point about linking the Irish language provision from going, I suppose, backwards to the youngest age. Look, what I'll do is, Deputy, I'll endeavour to, I suppose, get a better sense. I am 10 weeks in the job, but look, I will endeavour to get a better sense of how these various elements interact together, because I do absolutely accept its importance.